Hello! Hi everyone! Welcome to Guiding Voice podcast series, The Guiding Voice for a Better Future. This podcast is to help students and young professionals to shape their careers. Thank you for tuning in. This is Naveen and I'm with my co-host Sudhakar. Dear listeners, on popular demand, we are coming up with a special 4-part series on the most important topic, stress management. And this is part 4 of the 4-episode series. In this 4th and final episode, we will cover stress management tips for mid-career and senior professionals. It gives us immense pleasure to welcome Disha again to cover this useful and critical topic.
Dr. Disha Ghosal is from alternate medicine, holds dual PhD in holistic sciences from IBAM and University of Colombo. She is a practicing Reiki Grandmaster and an expert in advanced meditation, tarot reading, crystal healing, chakra activation, and Ho'oponopono.
She has been an exponent of wellness restoration and holistic healing for over 2 decades. She's a founder of Beyond Illusion and one-stop alternate therapy shop, and you can visit www.beyondillusion.in.
Dr. Disha is a winner of International Holistic Star 2019, which is UN affiliated Sanfo Global Federation Sri Lanka, Arogya Ratna 2018 in Holistic Medicine Research Foundation, Reiki Gold Medal 2016 from Reiki Council of India. Dr. Disha has conducted workshops in the United States of America, Australia, Japan, and other APAC countries in addition to India. Thank you, Disha, for taking time.
Thank you for inviting me once again. It's been a great learning opportunity for me as well.
Pleasure to have you here, Disha.
Disha, let us start with the basics of midlife crisis. What it is and why does it occur?
It's a very common question actually. A midlife crisis, as name suggests, is a phenomenon experienced by middle-aged individuals. It's a feeling, or you can say a wake-up call that's received by people, and it's very unanticipated. You just get up one day and you feel old. The feeling that's there, you feel like, oh my God, I have been through this for so long, and suddenly, am I at the end of my career? Or what is wrong with me? Looks like I have always planned to achieve something huge and I haven't even reached 5% of it. So a midlife crisis is challenging because it manifests in the most unexpected ways. In fact, recent research has shown that midlife crisis is not just a phase, but it's also a mental block that can be prolonged over a decade. It can be from maybe 2 years to about 10 years. It's also interesting to note that midlife crisis is also experienced by privileged. So in certain countries are more likely to experience this phenomenon than others in a different country. It happens to different people at different reasons and different seasons. So it's completely customized for one person based on their surroundings. And people basically experience doubt, low self-confidence and stress. Lots and lots of stress. Aging causes people to go through different levels of trauma between the age of about 45 to 60. Aging in combination with factors such as personality type, living conditions, societal status, social pressure, work pressure, etc. determines the degree in which one experiences the midlife crisis.
This is really interesting and a bit scary as well, Disha.
True.
How long does this midlife crisis last? What are the consequences?
See, See, it varies among men and women. On an average, a midlife crisis lasts between 2 to 10 years. But as I mentioned earlier, the number changes based on the factors that are there. Post midlife crisis, a person's life may or may not change at all. So we need to instead discuss on how a person survives this crisis rather than the aftermath of it.
Okay.
Just understanding that it's a near universal phenomena can help us in a way that you would stop blaming ourselves for our feelings and learn to accept them more. Acceptance, like I say, is the key. It doesn't mean that you still won't be disappointed, but at least you might stop belittling yourself. You may stop unnecessary criticism, self-criticisms. That will eventually help you. Your internal critic, in your cognitive behavioral therapy, all those things will help, will affect you during this phase. What I would like to say is that it lasts anywhere between 2 to 10 years, and the only ways to sail through it is to say that most of us go through it, and it's okay to go through it. Don't blame yourself for something and make it worse. Sharing the feelings with a good friend who can listen with compassion and also support you through the experience will make you feel less alone.
So you're saying this is common and we just need not be worried. And can I ask a different question in terms of how does this midlife crisis differ in men versus women?
Very interesting. Even though there are differences between why men and women go through midlife crisis, the emotions that they encounter can be very, very intense. We are living in a progressive time, so it would be ignorant on our part to invalidate the experiences of either gender. The term has long been associated with men, but contrary to the popular belief, women are likely to experience midlife crisis in the same manner as men. Men may suddenly grow to regret their life choices, like the number of kids that they have had or who they've chosen as a life partner, the way the family affects their career, or they've obtained their goals which were laid out for themselves or not. On the other hand, women experience menopause around this time. It's a direct bearing on their emotions, their appearances, their feelings. Especially mothers begin to experience a void in their life as their children grow up and move out. However, these experiences can totally be interchangeable as the sign of the crisis tend to overlap between the genders.
Yeah, I think that gives a lot of clarity. On a different tangent, is the crisis different between classes? Like how does senior leaders deal with stress versus someone at a mid-career level?
It's a very interesting question actually. When you step into a leadership role, you need to redefine your work-life balance. The strategies that you make will be totally yours. So what may have worked in the past may not work when you're in the senior position within the company. There are some ways in which you manage stress within the leadership role. Put a plan in place to organize and streamline your work, complete work ahead of deadline, and clearly lay out roles and responsibilities for your juniors. Have a support system around you is extremely important. Surround yourself with people who are goal-oriented and can work with you to alleviate work stress. The next point may be obvious, but people tend to undermine the importance of exercise. Sign up for a group workout class or sport where it's required to participate and to mingle with different people. In this way, you can socialize or network while you burn your calories.
Disha, how is employees' stress management linked to the overall employee relationship management and the organizational productivity?
So, stress management plays a crucial role in organizational productivity. Extreme levels of stress are a health hazard. That's a no-brainer. But high levels of stress also lead to absenteeism, diminishing productivity, and higher legal and medical costs. I think it's safe to say that the happier your employee are, the better your business will do. The HR needs to analyze the working situation to find out how stressful a job might be and what is causing the stress. Next, they need to figure out what techniques might suit the individual and also perform a stress audit. Frequent interactions with the employees is very, very important to find out the common stressors and work towards mitigating the elements within the workplace. Preventing employee burnouts requires reduced workplace stress while also upping employee engagement. A highly engaged workforce is the one that's likely to contribute to the most of the company's bottom line.
So, Disha, what can employers do to contain the stress levels across the organization? Also, as part of social responsibility, can organizations do something to the society?
I really like this question. Gives us so much of scope. Companies should work towards creating an environment that decreases stress. When an employee is put in a high stress situation, they are at a risk of moving into fight or flight mode. To counter this effect, we need to build a secure work environment and to incorporate stress reduction habits into the team's daily workflow. Give your employees a flexible break schedule. I mean a flexible break schedule. That way, the employee can mentally disengage from challenging tasks as per their needs. Suggest they go on short walks, especially if they have been in a series of long meetings, or send out calendar invites reminding them to take their breaks. As a CSR, companies can organize a number of campaigns such as fundraisers through corporate stand-up comedy shows, marathons, concerts. Additional to the company could offer to pay for the education of their children at their low-level staff. This actually boosts the person's morale a lot, and it actually engages the employees a lot within the organization, and the productivity will 100% improve.
Disha, with the responsibilities that the senior professionals have in any organization, are there any specific tips that you would prescribe to them on stress management? Something that they can start practicing?
There are so many tips a lot of people give. The simple tips that I would like to give is avoid caffeine, alcohol, or nicotine at any cost. Indulge in a physical activity, go to sleep on time, try relaxation techniques like breathing exercise or meditation, talk to somebody that you trust, keep a stress diary or a journal to write down your feelings, and manage your time by creating a schedule for yourself.
Thank you, Disha. That is very useful. Disha, at the outset, we would like to thank you for accepting our invitation and being part of our journey. It was wonderful to have you cover 4 critical topics of stress management, ranging from basics to professional students to young professionals to all the way senior level leaders.
Thank you for inviting me. And what I realized is across the 4 series, I could see the complete growth that was happening. I felt like as if we are actually hand-holding a young professional all the way up to a senior management, which was very exciting for me. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Wonderful. Thank you, Disha, for all your contributions towards stress management series. Hoping to have you again in future. Thank you so much.
Dear listeners, to know more about our speaker and the content, visit or follow us on social media or feel free to email us, and we will be happy to share further details.
All right. So it brings us to the trivia segment of today's episode. And we came up with an interesting trivia, and it is about knives. You know, sharp knives are safer than dull knives. The sharp knives are not actually as likely to cut you as dull ones, because a sharp knife easily slices through the food. You only have to apply a small amount of pressure when using them. This means that you are more likely to cut the item you are intending to cut and not your hand. Interesting, isn't it? If you'd like to share any trivias, please feel free to share them through email, and our email address is theguidingvoiceforyou@gmail.com, or SMS us or text us at India number 9494587187. We will not only share best trivias in future episodes, we will also announce your name. Again, We are open for suggestions on topics that you would like to hear from us through our email address. Our email address is theguidingvoice4u@gmail.com. You may also WhatsApp us on our India number 9494587187. Like our page on Facebook, facebook.com/theguidingvoice4u, or follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/guidingvoice. To stay tuned about our future episodes. We are also available on Instagram as The Guiding Voice for You. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/The Guiding Voice. There is more in store. Until next time, have a wonderful time. Thank you for listening. Take care and be safe.